Hello and welcome once again to the Long Ball Street podcast. Have we pressed record? Good. Yes, good. How you doing, Matt?
Mate, I'm good. How are you doing?
Got lots to talk about this week.
We have, haven't we?
We've only got 40 minutes to talk it in.
Jesus.
Quite strict about that this week.
Very strict.
Unless something's really flowing. Unless something's really good.
Yeah.
Then you know.
Hello and welcome
Wow.
once again.
That's a good start.
That's a great start. Oh, we're going to be talking about lots of things. Talk about briefly Premier League news of the fact that clubs won't be able to negotiate their own overrights, syndication packages for TV. We've got the FIFA awards, the best awards from yesterday. Ryan Giggs and Phil Neville sort of whoring themselves out to Premier League football clubs
As
the
what?
moment. As prospective
As
managers,
whores?
not as prostitutes. No, although
Okay.
I mean Ryan Giggs does have previous of being a little bit saucy. AC Milan have mutually agreed with Adidas to prematurely terminate their agreement. We got a question posed by Ian Wright on the 5 Live, which is what we've discussed, which is would you rather support a club that stands still or do a Newcastle, go up and down the leagues? And if we can fit in there, we've got to talk about Lazio taking 200 of their ultras to Auschwitz, Nantes and Ranieri unbeaten in 8 games, Real Madrid, lots more, Darren Fletcher and Newcastle, Brighton and Huddersfield, fact that you'll be very proud of.
Yeah, what's that?
Oh, hello, Max.
Thanks, Max. We've not started yet, it's fine.
Well, I know you're lying.
We'd never lie to you, would we?
God bless you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers,
really
Max.
appreciate it. Thank
For those
you.
listening to the podcast, Maxine from the office has just delivered us water.
Yeah, 2 cups.
2 cups indeed.
2 cups.
I've got a bit of a tooth problem. I'm going to have to have a toothache.
Oh,
tooth out. I think I've got an appointment on the 7th of November and I know they're going to offer me a root canal.
A root canal?
But I've had one of them before and they're shit.
They're shit as in what?
Have you ever had one?
I don't know. I forget stuff like that.
So a root canal is when they drill out, they drill down and then the canals of your tooth,
Right.
that's where all the nerves live.
Right.
They pull all those nerves out.
Ouch.
And then they rebuild the tooth.
Okay, well, I have had the nerves removed. I got hit in the face with a cricket bat.
Did you?
Yeah, when I was a kid.
Well, knock your
Cricket.
tooth out?
Yeah, well, it didn't knock it out, but it. So I got like a scar which you can kind of still see if I do that.
Yeah.
But the nerves, the tooth's dead, so it discolours, which is annoying because.
Oh, right, so you got the black tooth?
Colour. I've got the little black tooth.
I remember a kid at school.
The little black tooth.
Yeah, called Dirty Monteith, his name was.
Dirty Monteith. Oh dear. If you're watching Dirty Monteith, I hope that you found a good veneer.
Yeah, he didn't give a shit.
He didn't.
So, Premier League, overseas rights. Obviously, in Britain, we've got a kind of socialist outlook on this, where everybody gets the same money for overseas rights, regardless of audience you pull in or a global appeal. Obviously, you think some of the bigger clubs in the league might be interested in renegotiating their rights. Barcelona and Real Madrid take up something like 80% of the TV rights in Spain, and everything else is left to fight over the rest, really.
Yeah, but it's tough, isn't it? Because you look at something like Spain. There's 2 teams in that, really, isn't there? Every now and again, somebody sneaks up, like Depor, La Coruña, like occasionally. I remember in the Roy Mackay kind of years.
Roy Mackay.
They had a decent team for a little bit, and then you've had Atletico every now and again join that, and even I don't know what was a team that oh God, I shouldn't be doing this. I ain't got the brain capacity today. But there's a few. Yeah, exactly. There's a few. I shouldn't be. Do you know what I've done today? Right. So I've left my jumper in Pret. Yeah.
What?
I left it in Pret.
Oh, right. Okay.
Pret a Manger.
Did you have anything on underneath?
For 4 hours. No, I had a t-shirt on.
Oh.
But for 4 hours, left it in Pret. I was lost and I was cold and I was looking for my jumper, couldn't find it anywhere. And then Ty called me and she said that I not only left the key in the door, like when I come home yesterday, so I left it in the front of the door all night, and then I even went out this morning and still left it in there. So
how was she about that?
This shows you what I'm hanging from a very fine thread at the moment. I'm mentally tired. So Xavi Alonso, that's what I'm saying. Who did he used to play for? Was it Sociedad? Yeah, it's Sociedad.
There you go.
Right, okay, there you go. I'm back.
He's back in the room.
Yeah. And they once challenged, but ultimately it's those 2 teams dominating the hell out of it, season in, season out. So you got to look at it and think, they're perfectly entitled. Craig's trying not to cough.
Craig isn't well and he's coughing.
No, Craig's not well. Craig shouldn't be in the room. No. But ultimately that's what happens, isn't it? Is that there's a couple of teams that are a draw. In England, it's a little bit more widespread than that. Yeah. But so if there's a vote,
are you from a perspective of their audience should dictate how much money they get? How do you feel about it?
Do you know what? It's impossible to sit here and say that as it's set up, that they don't have greater pull and therefore shouldn't be entitled to that as the game's currently set up.
Yeah.
So as it is, I think that yes. However, I advocate a restructuring of the game off the pitch.
Yeah.
You know, in a number of ways, in order to create a more level playing field. It's the things that we've spoken about time and time again, like the hoarding of players. I think that there should be a salary, like a roster or a squad limit in place, so every team's got a certain amount of players that they can have allocated to their team for the season, and therefore if Izzy Brown, if Casey Palmer, if some of these guys that, if Tammy Abraham aren't good enough to be in there, the Chelsea's 40 players that they're allowed to have, or the 30 players that they have, then they can not just be loaned out, but they're picked up by somebody else.
For free,
so then you own the asset,
And then they'll be more careful when they're acquiring all these young players.
Exactly, they'll be more careful when they're acquiring these young players, and it allows the teams that are then blooding these players and giving them exposure to regular first team football to own the asset, and therefore if that guy goes on to be really good and Tammy Abraham or whatever scores loads of goals, Chelsea can then buy him back, but they're buying it at market rate.
Yeah.
And I think that things like that need to be introduced in order to make it a more level playing field on and off the pitch, and that's what we want, really.
Yeah.
I know it's great if you're a City fan and you're at the top of the league, and it's great if you're a Barca and a Madrid fan and you win it. It's between you and them every single year.
Yep.
But actually, life's about the best victories are those that are hard fought. The best victories are those that are earned, and you know that's why everyone liked the Leicester thing, because they came from nowhere to do it. But they're too few and far between. And if you can create a system where there's a bit more parity off the pitch, you know, then I think that's better for the game as a whole.
Real Madrid,
and let's face it, there's enough damn money to go around, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. Real Madrid provided more players for the top 5 European leagues than any other club. Can you believe that?
What, those come through their system?
Yeah, so top 5 leagues, they had 41 playing in the top 5 leagues. Ajax overall,
right,
for all 31 European leagues. Can you believe that's 31 European leagues?
Yeah, that's quite heavy.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
It's a lot. They provided 71 players.
Right.
So while there may be merit in what you're saying, it could be that these players do end up farmed out at those clubs in Europe anyway.
Well, no, they're going to do though anyway, aren't they? Because they're ultimately they are taking the pick of all the best ones and bringing them into their system.
So they can't not.
Yeah, so of course they're going to do, because they're allowed to do it as well. Like, how many players have come through Huddersfield? Like, you know, not very many, and they've not come through because we're not able to go out and stockpile and therefore create this whole an infrastructure that supports that in terms of the operations, the facilities, and all that kind of stuff. So of course it's going to be that way. They've got all the dough, and because they've got that money and they've got the youth system that comes with it, it then becomes like a self-fulfilling, a self-perpetuating system.
Yeah.
Because they're successful, people want to come and play for them, and because people can come and play for them, and they can then farm the best assets, ditch the ones that are the worst, but you know they keep the value, loan them out and stuff like that. It allows them to maintain their position at the top. Like Chelsea, I think Abramovich seems to be pulling his money out now. We're certainly not active like he was before. But their policy is, as you can see, they're making money on the Nathan Acker. They're making money on a lot of these young guys that never see, you know, even the Patrick Bamfords and stuff like that. Yeah, that don't see the first team.
Yeah, and currently it's a competition on the field, football, professional football, certainly at the top level, but it's also a competition off it. How do you provide the best business model, regardless of what it does to competition? How do you provide the best business model for your shareholders and also your club, and attacking the youth development system in the way that Chelsea have done, and exploiting that is a tactic that's worked well for them.
Yeah, but I mean, you imagine. So you're saying this thing went to a vote? Is that right?
So there was no discernible desire from Premier clubs for change.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Right. Okay. Arsenal. What do you think? Yep, we're in. Liverpool. Yeah, we're in. Man United. Fucking cha-ching. We're in. Chelsea. We're in. Everton. Nah, do you know what? We're fine. You know, the rest of them, they're just like the other 14 of them.
Burnley didn't even turn up.
No, they're just like, are you joking?
Speaking of Man United,
That's right. I've heard. I've not. They're a great club, a big club.
Big club.
I've not seen many of their results lately, but
I mean, they're
how did they get on last weekend?
I mean, before last weekend, they
were flying, weren't they?
Absolutely flying.
4-0 every other week.
I was tipping them to win the league.
Oh God, fuck it! I think they thought they were acting like they'd won the league.
They were behaving like Sam was
Yeah.
strutting around the office like a peacock.
Give us the title now.
Yeah.
And then what happens?
They come to Huddersfield Town, don't they?
Yeah, and what happens?
And they get pumped 2-1.
They get pumped 2-1.
Yeah.
And a big pin goes in their balloon.
They were ripe in for a piping.
Yeah, ripe in for. But no, seriously. By the way, I would just like to say, all joking aside, that United, I feel, have dealt with that whole thing really well. From what I saw.
What, you been getting beat?
Yeah, I mean, but getting beat by us, because I'll be honest with you, I saw us play Tottenham, I saw us play Swansea. We're not very good. We are not very. It's not happening. It's a far cry from that first half performance at Brentford last year, where we sealed the double over Adam, or that first half performance at QPR when we just made James practically cry in his seat. You know, we're a poor team, and I love the way that Mourinho handled that, and even some of their fans. Like, so I did the Stephen Howson podcast, which he'd booked me before the game, and I thought, why have I agreed to that? We're going to get pumped, and I've got to do that on Sunday.
Yeah.
That's no way to spend a weekend. And we won, and he kept it. But everyone was on the comments and stuff was kind of mainly United fans, obviously. We're just like dead cool, good
Pretty
to hear more
gracious
about
it.
Really gracious. That's all I've seen. So respect to Manchester United, the club, the fans.
Do you know what
people.
I've got to say? I love him, but I've always got quite a lot of time for Man United, especially their away support for such a successful club. Their away support is superb, and that doesn't always go hand in hand.
No.
So yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
But it was great to see them. I mean, what's it like for a Huddersfield fan? All right, a club that in recent times has perhaps not reached some of the levels at which.
It's not recent times. It's been my whole life.
Yeah.
You know, I'm an old man.
But then you're playing the most famous club in the world, the biggest club in the world, and you beat them.
Trippy.
Yeah.
The whole thing was trippy. Really. Now I couldn't get a ticket for the game. Which this is what's hurting me. We play Liverpool on Saturday. I can't get a ticket for the game.
Yeah.
Because it's limited.
Yeah.
That upsets me.
Because you've been going.
Because I've been going. I've made 1 billion of these trips. You know, but there's other people like me as well. But I live down here, so having a season ticket just wasn't worth it. And you didn't need to, because you just turn up and pay on the gate.
Yeah.
And you know, you can sit where you want, and that's the way it's been for years. So But to miss out on a couple of these games it's really sad, because I would have loved to have been there, and I'd love to be at Liverpool, but
yeah. Darren Holiday just sent in and says, Matt, how highly do you rate Wagner now?
He's brilliant. I mean, look what he's done first of all. Like, because it's not just about this is how I want to play football, but it's actually communicating that vision to the players, and it's getting a club that's got a losing culture, and with a team that's resources aren't as great as other people's, to actually outperform and achieve. So to get into the Premier League is amazing. But what I was worried about, because I saw the way we played and I thought that was crazy. Anyone that watched that game, it was on the TV.
Very high line.
It was a very high line, leaving our fullbacks on islands against some of the best players in the world, and we didn't have a number 10, and he was playing a system where, because we're short of a couple of players, it meant that we were playing Tom Ince, who should play wide right, we're playing him at number 10, and everyone was shuffling around to accommodate the system, and that didn't work. And I thought that we weren't looking like scoring goals, so you're then gambling on scoring a goal against Tottenham, but you're not only gambling that you're going to do that against pushing forward like crazy and leaving gaps at the back when it's the best team in the Premier League for me, you know, certainly the top 2 teams in the Premier League in terms of football team. So we were asking for trouble. So I was worried looking at Wagner, thinking, surely he needs to adjust. What I need to see from him, I need to see him go, well, this is the way I like to play and this is what I do, but if I don't have all the players that I need to have in that system at my disposal, then I need to shuffle the pack. I need to play to my strengths rather than stick to a system that served me well. And when I saw that Spurs game, I was like, we can't do this. And then I saw us against Swansea, and I thought, we're just going backwards. We can't get out, so we need to play more direct and play a different way. But he changed it against United. He took out the number 10, played 3 number 6s essentially, went 4-1-4-1, meets 4-3-3, and you know, it was a barnstorming performance. I mean, ultimately the second half we let them have it. It was just all them. We had a few chances to break and didn't quite pull it off, but he made that adjustment. So again, delighted. But it's tough for us. We've got a very small squad.
Newcastle, Brighton, and Huddersfield have 37 combined points. It's the most in the past 10 years of the teams that come up from the Championship.
Wow, that's good. Yeah, because Brighton beat. They won at West Ham, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
They smashed them.
It's bizarre. Like we spoke to Nicky earlier in the week on Social Club. Go and check that out on our main YouTube channel, Ball Street. He's reeling. He's lost complete faith in Bilic completely, and he thinks that.
Has Carroll been playing, or he got sent off, didn't he, the other week? Because that's what I think we might have been able to take them, But Carroll came back that day and gave them a massive lift.
He does give them a massive lift.
And they went direct to him. But yeah, that's sad. But it's good to see, isn't it? Like, I'm pleased for Newcastle and Brighton.
Did you see the FIFA Best Awards?
I saw some stuff about it.
So this is their alternative to Ballon d'Or.
Right.
So Ballon d'Or and FIFA used to work together. Ballon d'Or being a magazine in France, heralded as a kind of bastion for understanding what is the greatest thing in football, i.e. players, clubs, or whatever. And they split, and FIFA have set up their own thing. But it's done on votes from other players, and it was revealed. Obviously, Ronaldo and Messi were the front runners. Yeah. Ronaldo won it, but Messi's top three was Suarez, Iniesta, and Neymar, and Ronaldo's were Modric, Ramos, and Marcelo. Like, what is the point of having like? What does it mean, this voting system? Yeah, it means about how popular you are. How many favours have you curried? Yeah. How many mates do you have in football? Yeah. So what's the point of it? Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and you could. Yeah, I mean, look, crying out loud, in a world where democracy is under pressure. Yeah. You know, like, we don't even know in actual political systems that we've believed and that we've observed for years. It's the ability that people can use technology in order to put really persuasive arguments in front of susceptible people and actually target them via Facebook, etc. You know, in a world where we respond to the emotional stories, there's at every level, I think the things that govern these decisions are under pressure, you know. So for that, it's not necessarily a fair thing. I'd like the fans to be able to vote.
I don't think there's any value in having players voting for each other at all. It's just a complete waste of time. But
you should be able to surely, if you were going to do it, you're not allowed to vote for someone in your own team. Like, that should be it.
That makes complete sense. RFC 1871, he says FIFA awards to the Ballon d'Or is like the Globes to the Oscars. That's the kind of view of the football fan. Okay, so that's pretty good. There's another quote. It's from Ali Hassan Nambi. I probably butchered your name. Definitely have. I don't think individual awards should even exist in a team sport like football.
Oh, I like that.
What good is it being the best player if your team doesn't win titles?
I like that.
I guess there's a part of it's like how marketable a player becomes. Like if Harry Kane somehow, and he won't, but Harry Kane somehow wins the Ballon d'Or one day, the value of him is it's significantly increased, becomes a marketable player. Yeah. So there's something in that. The players would never want to give that up. No. You know.
I kind of like. I mean, look, I can see why FIFA are doing this, but it feels like it's somehow them trying to generate cash again. I'm just like, when it comes to FIFA, there's, you know, having seen everything that's happened.
You can't trust them all.
You can't trust them.
Like, what's their motive ultimately? Is what
yeah, exactly.
Idris Elba's performance as host and compere has come for criticism, so it's a bit cringeworthy.
Oh, was he? Yeah. Idris Elba was like a...
He's a pretty cool guy. Gooner though, isn't he? So. Ryan Giggs and Phil Neville both have indicated that they're interested in the Everton job. Are these guys disrespecting the lower leagues and managers earning their stripes down there? I don't get where Giggs and where Neville were coming from when thinking that they can go into a club like Everton and Leicester, former, you know, champions of England, and just go, well, you know, we fancy it. Why should you? There are plenty of managers that have been cutting their teeth in the lower leagues that deserve an opportunity in the Premier League. But because Brian Giggs was an incredible player, but has done very little in coaching.
No, I don't get that. There's some players that you know are potential managers, and it's the way that they play, the way that they carry themselves. Yeah. I think that if you're a leader, you've got to carry yourself like a boss. Giggs didn't carry himself like a boss when he was a player. Did he?
No.
He didn't. He was quiet. He was shy. He was peripheral. Fine, an amazing
Incredible,
footballer.
yeah.
But he looked like, I remember when he was a kid, he looked, I hesitate to use the word thick, but he seemed thick. He seemed like he needed to be protected.
Yeah.
Because he didn't look like he had too much between the ears. He looked very, very shy. And then there's people on the flip side of that who are mature and who are able to, have a dialogue and look on the pitch like they're carrying themselves like a boss.
Yeah.
And there's people that I think good captains are probably those that are likely to become good managers, or certainly are going to be able to stand there and. Because if you're there, you have to take command of those guys.
Yeah.
One is if they respect you as a footballer, obviously, and what you've done on the pitch. But two, it's how you carry yourself. It's how you galvanise them. It's the points in time. Because I always think, and I've heard this from American sports, is they talk about car thieves and choir boys, which I love that whole thing. That mean? And it's like, if you're going to build a winning team, you can't have all car thieves, and you can't have all choir boys. It's got to be a mix of both, right? And it needs different chemicals in order to make the perfect, to get the perfect blend or concoction or whatever. And as a manager and as a leader, there's times when you need to be quiet, and there's times when you equally need to be like, not today, not on my watch, and deliver that speech, deliver that moment that fucking turns it on its head.
Churchillian moment,
exactly. And so you can see Mourinho doing that. You can see him as someone that will have a laugh and will rapport with people. But then you all equally know that there's times when he's going to speak and everyone's going to be quiet and they're going to listen.
Becoming a great manager is such a difficult thing. There's so few of them. And often their performances on the pitch and what they did as a player, it just pales into insignificance, really. Because when you think about there's maybe 2,500 jobs for professional footballers in the leagues in England, right? For managers, there's 90. And that's in league football, 92. Yeah. So becoming a major force in management, no matter how long you spent in the game, the chances are so small.
Yeah.
And I guess they do have to leverage their playing career in order to get the opportunities they don't deserve.
Yeah, and you know what? It must be stressful as hell. Like, it must be. It's very easy for us to sit on the sidelines and be critical of a footballer and be critical of a manager and be critical of a... but you don't know until you're in those shoes, and I think that the management thing must be one of the hardest things to do, and you get so much stick.
Absolutely. You were just talking about the different choir boys and car thieves.
Yeah.
I watched a documentary about NHL. Do you know much about the NHL, the hockey league?
I know bits about it. I wouldn't say massively. I used to love just playing the NHL games so you could have the fight on the ice. I remember that was...
It's apt that you mentioned that, because we watched the thing about the enforcers. So these are guys that played in the hockey team, not because they could play, some of them could, but not because they could play, but it was to protect the star players like Wayne Gretzky from injury from other players. So if they smashed Wayne Gretzky, they knew that they were going to have to deal with this animal who's going to come on the pitch and just destroy them.
I love that.
And part of the reason why Wayne Gretzky was so good is because he had the three hardest men in his league as enforcers.
Right,
and
so
no
people
one
would be like,
him.
let's not bother with him.
Yeah.
Right, that's why Wayne Gretzky used to get all the goals.
Well, he was great as well. But if you look at him in comparison, there was one with this enforcer who's like the thuggish big brother.
Right.
And this skillful, young, good-looking brother like Adam.
Yeah.
I would be the enforcer probably in that relationship.
Be enforcer,
yeah. But
that relationship.
So it's fascinating. AC Milan have cancelled their deal. Oh, actually, they've come to a mutual agreement with Adidas to split after many, many years. They're kind of synonymous with each other. Some football clubs and sports brand merch.
It goes back a long time, doesn't it?
Seems to, yeah.
I remember, surely even like Shevchenko and Ruud
Maldini.
Maldini. Was that Adidas?
I think Ruud Gullit might be Le Coq Sportif. I might be wrong, but anyway,
really?
Adidas.
Oh, I have no idea.
Adidas.
We'll find out, Adam. It's just like, get off Tinder, mate.
Yeah, you're producing the show.
Yeah.
Just fucking...
It's like acting like it's nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, seriously, it's like... honestly, we ask. Adam literally turns around and says, I'll be damned if I know. What's it got to do with me? I'm just sitting over here.
I love that. Stop acting like this has nothing to do with
I know. Crying out loud.
What was the brand? So it was Adidas. It's been that long.
Yeah.
So how does something like this?
Sorry to put you out. I'd go back to fucking
swiping right.
Swiping about. Just swipes everyone, doesn't he?
Like, he's got one. He's got that. You know, the app you can get that just swipes everything right, like that 1,000 swipes right.
1,000 swipe app.
Just so he gets the opportunity to slay at any minute. So Adidas, Adidas. They've been long associated. What might have happened? Do you think, Matt? If you had to speculate, how's the relationship they're entrenched with each other? Could it be new owners and the fact that they've got a new deal? This could be massive Chinese investment there at the moment.
Mate, you know what? I don't know.
Of course.
It could be. I think what is really nice is in a world where money is number one priority a lot of the time. It's really nice that you get these long-term relationships and everyone wins and like Milan is an iconic shirt, Adidas is an iconic brand. I quite like the thought of them being together for a long period of time, because when you've got a long-term thing, it then starts to become something to protect and to continue in a way. Yeah. So as you look at something like that coming to an end, it's a bit sad in a way, but it's probably driven somewhere by finances. So I don't know if there's certain performance criteria, because Milan have dropped off a bit.
That's right.
I don't know if because of that Adidas, maybe the contract's geared towards them being in Champions League,
you'd think so,
winning trophies, so maybe it's dipped below that, and actually then so Adidas are paying this, and then Milan are going, well look, we need the cash, and Puma, Nike, whoever, they're going to come and pay this, so it could be just about that. Or equally, like you said, they've got new owners. Is it Chinese?
Yeah, well, these are the guys that were looking for investment. So if you remember a couple of weeks ago, we talked about how he just bought the club 6 months ago or so, and he's already looking for new investors in his band. And some, obviously, football fans are going, well, how comes he needs money now? He's only just bought the club, thought he must be a billionaire. But maybe...
Oh, is that them as well?
Yeah, it's the same. So there's a lot going on
weird,
there.
Isn't it?
Yeah. So definitely putting them in the right direction. In a direction, whether it's right or wrong, I don't know.
Yeah. But
it's interesting. It's a bit of a shame, like you say. This is your best place to answer this question, Matt.
Why?
Because I support a really big club. Would you rather support a club that stands still like West Brom or Stoke, or do a Newcastle that they go up and down?
Definitely, the latter.
Newcastle, isn't it?
Yeah,
I would too.
All day, every day.
Because there's so much glory in going up,
mate. Look, I'm going to tell you what life is about now.
Go on.
Life is not about eking through and just being okay. It's just not. I feel sorry for people that don't get to taste the true glory of victory or defeat. Yeah. And I would say that Stoke fans are in that boat.
Yeah.
They don't know what it's like to lose badly. They don't know what it's like to win. Newcastle, they've been down. They've been then to all these new grounds, and then they've gone up on a promotion campaign, having a sing-song, and then they've gone down again. The taste of defeat and the taste of victory, having those in your mouth is what life's about. That's a part of life's true narrative. And so I would experience that all day, every day, rather than just staying the same. It's like, what is that?
Stoke are essentially, they're the crisis of existentialism, aren't they? They merely exist. They don't feel anything. They don't get to excite, but they don't get any sorrow, but they just exist.
Yeah.
And they
just make up the numbers.
Yeah.
And so honestly, and again, this is obviously my opinion, but I'm not really I like being in the Premier League. Beating Man United's a good laugh, but I'm not really that bothered about this being us now. Yeah. I could quite happily go and play a few teams. All right, Flav, you beat us, fun. Sam Peoples, brilliant. Have a bit of that, and then just go back to how life was, because we're not going to get up to there, are we? It's pretty much impossible. And even so, I don't know if I want to be all this fucking shit.
Big club.
Football. Yeah, I just don't. It's just not. I don't want to sound like that guy, right, that sees a picture of a hot bird and goes, yeah, she's not really my type because I can't pull her. I don't want to be that guy. So I'm not sitting here going, oh God, I don't want to be in the Premier League for that reason. I just don't really. like again, I used to like going to the football. Me and my uncle can't go to the football. And when I have got tickets this season for a Huddersfield game, I'm sitting in literally the last guy in the stand.
Yeah.
So I'm not even with a view of the pitch. So I'm like sitting there watching the game. The atmosphere's shit. I'd be better on an illegal stream. You know what I mean? Like, at least I'd have a good view.
Yeah.
So it's been fun. I like what's happening, but my experience of the football has dramatically changed, and I'm not really sure that I prefer this to that.
Do you know what I like that though? I like the fact that you can see, and you're new to the Premier League, so you're having the taste of it, and if at any time you should be excited, it's now. But I quite like the fact that you're finding glory. Or not just your club is more than success, and that's the problem. I think success is actually a cancer to football clubs and to football fan bases, because you end up becoming expectant, and it's going to happen to Spurs when we start to eventually tail off if we don't ever win the Premier League, or if we become mediocre again. A lot of people are going to suffer badly because they've built up such an expectation, and the plateau just keeps rising and rising and rising. And Adam's mentioned a lot of times, I don't want it. I don't want the Premier League. I don't want to be a part of that. I'm happy with my
I'm happy going to the match, going and getting a
few beers,
having a few pints of Fosters with my mates, and then going and having a Mackie D's afterwards,
and then have a little mooch around like Brentford somewhere, or maybe brave Central London and see if there's any young ladies to talk to.
And look, Carlos David's asking, has Matt got full scouse, moaning about everyone stealing their seats? I'm not moaning at all. I'm just saying that it's different, and my preference is how it was. I understand the risks of not having a season ticket, and certainly I'm not moaning. It's those people that have bought them tickets get the rights. I'm just saying it's different, and my preference is that other thing. Constitute that as moaning, if you will, but I think I'm just answering Flav's question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you stay out of it?
Deal with that?
How about you stay out of it, Carlos David?
And we like Carlos David. We talk to him a lot.
He's always repping.
He's a regular, but yeah, there's no moaning there. Get it right, sunshine.
Get it right. Or get out. No, don't get out. Stay.
No, stay. We like you as well. Yeah.
Nantes and Ranieri, right? This is it. Ranieri is Nantes. They're third in the league.
Right.
They've played 8 games, won 6, drawn 2. Ranieri.
They've what?
At it
played
again.
8.
Played 8, won 6, drawn 2.
Really?
At it again, isn't he?
No way. I'd love that. It'd be good.
Shakespeare's on his arse. He's currently in a pub somewhere. It's just getting rat-arsed because he's so unhappy about getting sacked from Leicester. I made that up. It's true. And but Ranieri's bossing it again. He does not give a shit.
No. Do you know what? I felt he dealt with that whole thing really well.
Yeah.
As well. Like he's quite an because he was at Chelsea, wasn't he? And he came back and did. I just think he kind of carries himself well.
Yeah, he does. He's got a level of decorum. It's weird, isn't he? Because he's so successful, and yet I still think he's a fraud. I don't know why. I don't know where that comes from.
No,
probably a deep-seated.
So I love this as well. Rory Gibson. I would have taken Leicester to win the league and then get relegated 100%.
I get it.
Yeah,
100% get it.
Yeah. Who cares? It's better to have. You've got to have that.
You've
got to experience bits of life. If you go through the life in the middle, you're not living. You don't know what it's like.
You've got to experience the lows to appreciate the highs.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, you take that through all life, ups and downs, innit? Ebbs and flows. The coastal system controlled by the moon. That's about tide, isn't it? In out,
up
not
and down, hokey cokey.
That's right.
All these
good things are about moving up and down, not just fucking staying in the same line.
Yeah.
All right. So no to Stoke and no to West Brom. Get them out of football.
Yeah, get them out of football. But it's true. So Wright is. Did Wright say what he'd prefer?
We only sort of.
I know. In fact, I know Wright. I know what he'd prefer. He would definitely prefer ups and downs. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And final thing to end on, and we can have a couple of your questions before we finish. My computer's about to run out of battery, so you might have to fill.
By the way, can everyone just hit like button, please? Because there's 200 people watching. Hit the like button. Do that. Let's have some algorithm in this house.
Yeah, and. Matt will show. What will you show?
I'll show.
While asking, what
the likes fly up.
If you're,
I'm going to press
Matt,
it. Go on. Sorry. Sorry.
If you, how would you describe your performances in the sack compared to a Premier League footballer? What?
Okay.
I mean, I would, because Cameron upstairs, he said I'm the Lucas Leiva in the sack, which is kind of defensive, solid midfielder. Adam reckons he's Harry Kane because he scores every time.
Oh dear me.
Yeah, or hit the target. I'm not sure what that means. Does that mean on the hit the target?
Yeah, good. I don't really know.
Alright, but it just sounds right.
Hit the target.
Yeah.
What are you?
I'd say I'm Musa Sissoko.
Why is that?
Or just
Overrated.
Overrated.
Craig usually doesn't say a fucking word. We can't even get him to say a word or even get involved in any kind of content. The minute he gets a chance to mug me off, overrated.
Yeah.
I rate myself much higher than I should, but I still get chances to perform.
Yeah.
So Musa Sissoko. Go on.
Probably, I don't know, a journeyman.
A journeyman, because you've gone through a lot.
Box to box. So I just stuck that in at the end.
Nice, it's good work.
Yeah.
It's 40 likes in that little
That's
short.
all right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
And let us know in the comments before we leave. Who would you be in the sack?
By the way, tell us your in the sack footballers. That's a good one. I've noticed, right, this is a bit weird. Does this happen often in the Premier League, right? I've noticed that. So this is obviously just probably a fluke, but we played you like last week-ish, and United and Liverpool played last week-ish, right? And then this weekend you beat Liverpool, and we beat Man U.
Yeah.
Now, where do you play on Saturday?
Man United.
Where do we play?
Liverpool.
Yeah. So it's almost like over this last few weeks, there's a mini league, like the league within the league.
Oh, I get you. So like Spurs, Man United, and Huddersfield,
and Liverpool.
Yeah. And what you'd be.
So you've played 2-1-2.
Yeah, of course.
Unstoppable.
Obviously.
Great goals. I mean, what did you beat us? 4-0.
3-0, I think.
3-0. I think it was 4.
I don't know. So I used to win.
Of course, yeah. But so you were like top with 6 points so far.
Yeah.
Going into the last game.
Where are Huddersfield?
We're second.
Of course you are.
Yeah. 3 points.
God.
And then it's Liverpool and Man United on 1 point each.
Yeah.
So
up your game.
Your game, yeah.
Yeah.
But this weekend
we could
end up bottom. But you're still going to be top, I think, unless you lose.
We're playing Man
win.
United. We're playing Man United, aren't we? So it's going to be a tricky game.
You've got to win that, though, right?
I hope so. I really do. I hope so. And we've been playing brilliantly. You know, I just worry that Mourinho's going to stink out the game and he'll refuse to come out, and then Pochettino will be forced to adapt to his situation. But we'll take a point up there. So actually, maybe we sit back and force them to come out and play out the most boring game in the history of football.
No, I think that you might. I think you might hurt them.
Yeah.
Is Pogba back? When's he back?
Great, sorry. Pogba, I don't think he's moved back for the game, but let us know in the comments. Long Ball Street, Adam just said, James is N'Golo Kante, small but makes himself useful and works tirelessly in the sack.
Yeah, he probably does, doesn't he?
Yeah, he absolutely does.
Yeah.
Final thing, Darren Fletcher has played 100 games in a row, only the 8th player in Premier League history, and it's interesting because he was out for nearly 2 years with a stomach problem. He had colitis and he had to have surgery to help fix it, and he'd come back and played 100 games in a row.
Where's he? It's West Brom, is it?
He plays for Stoke.
Did he play Stoke now? Did he go to West Brom?
I think he did.
Did Darren Fletcher go to West Brom?
Yeah.
Is he playing well then? I take it he's playing fairly well.
He's just a mainstay, and he's just without. He just does his job well.
There's so in here. So Fernandinho, there's some good ones in this thing. Someone's just put Adam Johnson.
That's not on, is it?
Yeah.
Craig is Eden Hazard, goes down frequently. That's good. Yeah, that's good. Very good. All right, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you once again for joining us. If you listen to this on the podcast, get over to our YouTube, watch that as well, because you can get involved in the comments. It's a fun element of the show. And if you only caught a part of this, then download the podcast.
Last one, just because he's asked it a bunch of times. He's been going top 10 clubs in the world. Let's just race through
the
that.
top 10 clubs.
So this, we've obviously not thought about this, but we'll craft a list live together.
Okay.
And if people want to throw in some names whilst we're doing it, feel free to do that just to jolt us.
Bear in mind, this is a podcast in itself. But we'll give it a go.
Okay.
Who's number one?
So this is our crowdsourced one.
Yeah.
So
my battery's dead.
Who's number one?
Real Madrid.
It's gotta be
Man United.
Number two. I'd tend to probably go Barcelona 2.
All right, I'll give you Barcelona.
Okay, so we've got.
So then Man United.
But okay, so we don't have to necessarily get these in perfect order, but Real Madrid,
Yeah.
Barcelona, Manchester United. I already feel the tension. I
Yeah,
feel
it's horrible, isn't it?
I'm going to stick Bayern Munich in there.
Yeah, fair enough. Absolutely.
Who else?
And then
We've got
from
4.
there,
Can you write these down? I know you've probably got better things to do, Adam.
no.
But just in case we want to ask you in a minute what we've got, like, it might be nice. All right.
not Chelsea. I'm not putting them in there because they've got like.
We've got.
It's only started in 2002.
So we've got. Sorry, Real Madrid.
Spurs have got to be in there, haven't they?
Do we, yeah. I think we'll wait. They might come in later on, maybe. I don't know.
Do it.
And then we've got
Juve?
we've got
Juve?
Barcelona. We've got Real Madrid. We've got Bayern Munich.
Juventus?
I think Juve, personally.
I begrudgingly put Liverpool in there
Liverpool are
because they're just fucking massive, aren't they, everywhere?
Liverpool are definitely in. So let's put if Man United number 2, then Huddersfield must be number 1. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Come on, who else have we got in there?
Who are we missing? In the comments, who are we missing?
Are AC Milan?
Well, look,
I'm going to stick Ajax in there.
I'd stick a little cheeky hipster vote for Ajax as well.
I think you've got to do for the history.
And they've provided so many players.
Yeah.
You know.
And they're a cool club. They are a cool club.
Yeah.
What about...
Would you give Rangers or Celtic a shout?
I'm saying Inter Milan.
Yeah. All right. Inter Milan, AC Milan.
I'm saying Inter Milan, that's 8.
We've got 8.
If we do AC Milan, then that's 9. I think we've got to go AC Milan, you know.
I think so. You've got your thing of Maldini, Baresi, Costa Curta.
René Gattuso.
Yeah, yes, Gattuso.
Jean-Pierre Papin. Did he do it there?
Yeah, he did.
Did he do it there?
Yeah, he was at Papin.
What about a French club? Would you go Marseille? Would it be Lyon? No. I mean, not Lyon. Would it be Marseille? Would it be PSG?
PSG are 40 years old. There's no chance they can be in the top 50 clubs in the world.
So Liverpool... are Arsenal in that list? No. Are Arsenal in the list?
Absolutely not.
So we're getting nods.
What are you nodding for?
We're getting nods from over there.
Explain, Adam.
They are in the top 10.
Biggest clubs in the world.
Yeah.
How about you?
So we're getting shouts. These are some of the shouts, right? City. Benfica.
Who's putting City?
Atletico.
Who's putting City?
Millwall. PSG.
Millwall. They're having a laugh and they're winding
Someone's
up.
got Chelsea in there. So we've got the same list as somebody that... But hang on a minute. No. I think the last one, I think it's got to be maybe Celtic.
I'm fine with that, as long as they're in Arsenal.
I think I'm not sure.
Whoever puts City is a joke. That's an absolute joke.
PSG. I think it's tough, but look, it's an interesting one. So thanks very much for listening.
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
We'll be back next Tuesday if you want to join us live.
Yeah, if you want to join us live, we'll be back next Tuesday. If you're watching...
Yeah, I was going to say, hit the notification bell and then you'll know exactly when we get an email and it'll buzz your phone. And
that's a good shout, yeah. Because we do go live and I prefer it than when we have like little topics like that and people actually interact with us.
It's good fun.
It's fun.
Yeah,
so hit your notification bell on YouTube. If you're listening, you're not on YouTube and you've never come and got involved like this, then you're welcome to. You can see how beautiful Flav is.
Oh, that's a joke.
Some of his tattoos which Adam did.
What?
After sex.
After sex.
I'm going with that.
Or get tattooed after sex. Alright, that's it. See you at the far post.
See you at the far post. Oh dear.